Well, maybe he was right. I don't know much about the gods.
You're on the wrong line of work.
Oh, there's plenty of pious sons of who think they know the word of God or gods. I don't. I don't even know their real names. Maybe it is the seven. Or maybe it's the old gods. Or maybe it's the Lord of Light. Or maybe they're all the same thing. I don't know. What matters, I believe, is that there's something greater than us.
Religion has always been a guiding force for the characters on Game of Thrones, but in Season 6, religion played a more prominent role in the narrative than ever before. Various gods of the Seven Kingdoms have been used this season as political tools to revive heroes, set characters on new paths, and explain origin stories. You may not have realized it, but the influence of religion can be found everywhere on Game of Thrones. This season, the Faith of the Seven managed to become a major player in the politics of King's Landing. The High Sparrow used the Faith militant to elicit fear, but his strategy for seizing control of the crown was all in his words. Using his teachings of righteousness to coerce those in power, the Sparrow became this season's most manipulative politician. His first target was Tommen, and the Sparrow went right for the king's weak spot, Cersei. Through his spiritual chats with Tommen, the Sparrow managed to drive a wedge between the young king and his mother, insisting that the love of the gods was stronger than Cersei's love for her son. But Tommen wasn't the only pawn in the Sparrow's game of corruption. Next was Margaery. The Sparrow used an anecdote about materialism and a passage from the Book of the Stranger to convert Margaery into a follower. The queen may not have been a true believer, but she did what she could to save her brother Loras. Ultimately, the Sparrow did nothing more than use spiritual scriptures to evoke fear and dependency within Tommen, Margaery, and eventually Loras. Convincing the king and queen to follow the gods' counsel, the Sparrow eliminated the trial by combat to kill Cersei and pave his way towards puppeteering the crown. But Cersei, a woman who can't be trumped by the gods, unleashed her wildfire and struck down the Faith in one fiery swoop. Until that green liquid consumed the Sept of Baelor, though, the Faith of the Seven was the most powerful force in King's Landing. The Faith is the one religion in Game of Thrones that's yet to reveal proof of an existing deity, yet there were plenty of gods who showcased their magical powers this season. The most magical god we've heard about on the show is the Lord of Light.
I serve the Lord of Light. I do what he commands.
How do you know what he commands?
I interpret his signs as well as I can.
We've seen Melisandre pull off magic before with shadow babies and anti-aging necklaces, but this season her greatest achievement yet happened through faith alone. Though she doubted her visions after the death of Stannis, her final attempt to invoke the Red God's resurrection power proved successful when she brought Jon Snow back to life. We've seen this happen once before on the show, when Thoros of Myr, another Red Priest, brought Beric Dondarrion back to life for the 6th time. Whether Melisandre actually possesses her own magic or is just a vessel for the Lord of Light is unknown. But even if she doesn't understand her Red God's mysterious motives, it's her faith in him that's allowed her to create such miracles on the show. Not all of the Red Priestesses believe in the same prince who was promised, however. This season, Tyrion summoned the High Priestess Kinvara to unite the people of Meereen under Daenerys' reign.
You want your queen to be worshipped and obeyed. And while she's gone, you want her advisors to be worshipped and obeyed.
I'd settle for a bid.
I will summon my most eloquent priests. They will spread the word. Daenerys has been sent to lead the people against the darkness, in this war, and in the great war still to come.
Tyrion's use of religion in Season 6 is perhaps the smartest out of any character yet on the show. He relies on the faith spread by the Red Priestesses to keep Meereen in balance and the people devoted to Daenerys until she returns. There's no magic, no fear, corruption, or threats of violence defining Tyrion's leadership, but he's figured out the ideal way to use faith to maintain political power. Let's just hope Daario and those Red Priestesses are able to keep the peace while Daenerys and co steal back the Iron Throne.
We speak in the presence of the drowned god. In his name, we gather today to choose a new king as our leader.
We saw religion intersecting with leadership once again this season when we returned to the Iron Islands. After Euron Greyjoy is chosen as the new king of the Iron Islands in the Kingsmoot, his brother Aeron Greyjoy performs a ritual for the drowned god. This is the sea god worshipped by the Ironborn.
Listen to the waves. Listen to the god.
He is speaking to us, and he says, "We shall have no king but Euron Greyjoy."
Euron's crowning ceremony recalls Theon's baptism in the sea from Season 2. Both scenes depict the Ironborn's devotion to their god of the sea. Like the Lord of Light, the Drowned God also has the power to bring back his chosen leaders. In the words of the Ironborn, what is dead may never die. Speaking of death, that brings us to another god who plays a big role in the Seven Kingdoms.
There is only one God, and his name is Death.
And there is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
Syrio Forel was Arya's first introduction to the god of death, also known as the Many-Faced God. We've heard a lot about him since Arya arrived at the House of Black and White in Braavos during Season 5. But this season, Jaqen tested Arya's devotion to the Many-Faced God, and to becoming a faceless man.
The girl must decide if she wants to serve the many-faced god.
A behind-the-scenes feature revealed that according to the religion's mythology, the Many-Faced God is an element of almost every other religion in the Seven Kingdoms.
In the north of Westeros, he is one of the nameless old gods staring out from the weirwood trees and the snow. In the Iron Islands, he is the Drowned God, calling men down to his watery hall.
As Syrio said, followers believe the god of death is the one true god, lurking in each belief system with a different face and a different name. Though Arya eventually walks away from her training and decides to leave Braavos, in a sense, she's still serving the Many-Faced God in spirit, reclaiming her identity as Arya Stark, embodying the god of death by acting as the Grim Reaper who ends the lives of her enemies. And as they say in Essos, all men must die. There's one more set of gods on Game of Thrones who may have played a major role in the magic we saw this season. The old gods are the nameless spirits of nature worshipped through the weirwood trees. Their original followers are the children of the forest, the earliest known creatures in Westeros. Greenseers, the Free Folk, and some northern houses also follow the old gods. In Season 6, Bran learned through a vision that the children of the forest were the ones who created the Night's King and the White Walkers.
It was you. You made the White Walkers.
We were at war. We were being slaughtered. Our sacred trees cut down. We needed to defend ourselves.
Though the origin of the White Walkers is different in the books, the show leads us to believe that it was some combination of the children's magic and Dragonstone that made these ice zombies. Could the old gods have something to do with this? There are fan theories that the children are actually the old gods, and that they turn into weirwood trees when they die. It's unknown what'll happen next in the show, now that the only children we've met have died while fighting the White Walkers. But as the new Three-Eyed Raven, Bran is now one of the most powerful beings in the series. If it was the magic of the old gods who created the White Walkers, Bran might be the only one who can destroy them. With so many gods in Game of Thrones, there's no telling which ones are real and which ones are pure myth. But real or fictional, there's no doubt that the religions on Game of Thrones are at times even more influential than the living characters. The men may be the ones who move the chess pieces across the board, but faith and religion often inspire how they make those moves. So which gods will you pray to? Thanks for watching! If you liked this, check out another video essay, or one of our top 5 video countdowns. Subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get the latest movie and TV news at ScreenCrush.com.